Have you ever wondered who the richest people in the entire world are? Well, look no further. In this video, we will be covering the absolute top 10 richest people in the entire world based on the Forbes 2016 real-time World's Billionaires list, which is kept up to date constantly. We will be counting down these top 10 and explaining how they got their wealth. Let's begin. Number 10 is Charles Koch. Now, Charles Koch is the chairman and chief executive officer of Koch Industries. That's K-O-C-H. Now, what's interesting about this company and the Koch brothers are that they are both in the top 10 and they own equal amounts of this business. So, number 9 is David Koch, who owns the exact same amount, $39.6 billion, because they split the company 50-50. Now, how did they make their money? Well, they made their money through a number of different businesses. Koch Industries sells a ton of different stuff. Everything from manufacturing, oil, chemicals, minerals, fertilizers, you name it. They have sold it. And so that is an incredible thing. And it's just very interesting because there's so many billionaires that are more famous, like Mark Zuckerberg, yet these people have remained behind the scenes for a long time, constantly growing their wealth, always up there, and they've gone unnoticed, which could be a great thing. Some people love to keep private. Both people are pretty old. One is 80 years of age and the other is 76 years old. Charles is the older and David is the younger. Number 8, Michael Bloomberg. Now, this man is, depending on where you live, a more well-known billionaire, but most people don't know him because how he made his money is something that wasn't mainstream. He didn't sell something like the iPhone or iPad or a software that was distributed to the masses. He started a company called Bloomberg. Now, Bloomberg is a very interesting company. Basically, what Bloomberg does is they have terminals. That's basically how they made a large chunk of their money. So what are Bloomberg terminals? Basically, what they are these complex supercomputers used for financial people, personal finance people. And there's a ton of big companies that are willing to pay for these to analyze stocks and do finance and check the markets and do economics. And it's just such a large market, and a lot of people are really greedy and they want to make a lot of money with the stock market, so they buy these things. And he made his money selling to people who wanted to do better, making money. So he was B2B, and that's why he's lesser known. It just proves that you don't have to sell to everyone, and you don't have to have a product that everyone in the entire world owns, and it has to cater to the lowest common denominator to get severely wealthy. Michael Bloomberg's also really well known because he also did a crazy thing, which is he was successful in different fields, a tough thing for people to do. Outside of business, he also campaigned successfully in politics to become the mayor of New York numerous times. He's worth $40 billion. He's age 74, and in the last 2 decades, he's consistently been in the top 10 to 20 billionaires in the world. Number 7 is Larry Ellison. This man is one of those people who is under the radar and yet always consistently in the top 10 world's richest people. And he has been for over 20 years. He's been severely behind the scenes in a way because he also has a company called Oracle that is B2B. It doesn't sell to consumers, it sells to other businesses with its enterprise software product. And because of this, most people don't know who he is because most average consumers don't use this business. Again, it just speaks to the fact that you don't need to sell to everyone in order to be successful. He is also in the tech space, similar to Bloomberg, and he is worth $43.6 billion and is 71 years old. Number 6 is a surprising one. This man is only 32 years old, and he is the CEO of Facebook. This man is worth $44.6 billion. His name is Mark Zuckerberg, and he is probably one of the most well-known billionaires because he runs and founded one of the world's largest social networks, Facebook, which most of the world uses. Over 2 billion users use Facebook. Mark is one of the youngest billionaires out there and has created record-breaking amounts of wealth in record-breaking time thanks to the power of the internet and technology, which allowed him to scale and reach more people much quicker. Number 5 is Jeff Bezos. He is 52 years of age and is worth $45.2 billion. He is a rather new recruit to the world's richest people list. The difference, though, is with Jeff, he more so came about in the last 10 years or so, and he was a little bit slower to get there than Mark Zuckerberg. However, with Jeff, he has an interesting story because he worked as an employee for a while before embarking on this crazy thing where he wanted to create a website that sold every product imaginable to the world online. He was very strategic with it and did some very innovative things that most people would not have done to start, such as begin by dominating the book delivery business online rather than try and sell everything at once. Because of this, he is very successful. Number 4, Carlos Slim. This is the one billionaire on the list who is not from the United States, other than the number 2 person who you will see soon enough. Carlos Slim has been one of those people who has been a fairly recent member of the richest people list. He actually hit number 1 for a few years, and he was so ahead, but then over time, as you'll see, other people ended up catching up. Now, how did he make his money? Via telecom in Mexico. So basically what he has done is he's dominated the telecommunications industry in Mexico and other Hispanic countries. Now, what is telecom? Well, it is basically what you use to call people, to text people, and anything else where you're communicating on the phone mainly. That requires a service which is paid to a telecommunications company. It might be Verizon, Comcast, or something like that for you. Carlos was at the number 1 spot for many years, and he has since dropped down. He has been big on philanthropy, not as big as the other top people you'll see, but he was approached by people like Bill Gates and others, primarily Bill Gates, to really get into philanthropy, and he has also been about giving back more than anything else. And now let's get to number 3, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett sits at $60.8 billion. He's 85 years old. And how did he make his money? Warren Buffett is a very exceptionally unique case. He was a business genius. He started trading stocks before he was finished middle school. He read every book in his public library on stocks before he got to high school. And this man literally kept building his one business he started by investing in the right companies. He has a over 40-year track record, and some people call him the world's greatest investor. Therefore, he has made his money by owning and directing numerous different businesses, from airline businesses all the way to candy and soda businesses like Coca-Cola. Truly an inspiration because he has started something called the Giving Pledge along with Bill Gates, which has basically been a movement where Warren and Bill have reached out to every billionaire they can and convinced them, or attempted to convince them, to pledge at least half of their money to charitable or philanthropic causes. He has been unsuccessful in certain cases, but in many other cases, he has convinced many other billionaires to give back. And his biggest reasoning is the fact that enough is enough, and this money has not much utility to these people who have so much, but plenty of utility and value to people who are suffering or can't get an education or can't put food on the table. Number 2, Amancio Ortega. This man is 80 years old. He is number 2 in the world's richest list, and he is worth $67 billion. How did he make his money? Very simple, with a company called Zara. Zara is a very, very well-known clothing company. Its price line is somewhere around affordable and moderately expensive. So although it doesn't cater to every single lowest common denominator like Walmart, it is still fairly affordable and well-known throughout the world. Amancio was born in Spain, and he is one of the few billionaires who was not born in the United States, which we are seeing more and more of. In fact, there are hundreds and hundreds of billionaires coming from all sorts of new countries, and that's growing from China to Brazil to Hong Kong to France and so on. Amancio made his money through Zara, and he is one of those people who doubled down on one company rather than having tons of companies. Number 1, Bill Gates. At 60 years of age, he has devoted the first half of his life to building Microsoft, a software company that still runs a great majority of the computers that are operational in the world. He was born in the United States, and he's worth $75 billion. Bill Gates has devoted the second half of his life to philanthropic causes. He has gone out of his way to really help alleviate and reduce illness. Specifically, he's targeted some of the most deadly animals and viruses known to man, such as polio and mosquitoes. What's most surprising about Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are that both of these men, for the last 5 to 10 years, have already given away tens of billions of dollars to charity. And because of that, both of their rankings on the world's richest people list have plummeted. However, despite that, they still have ownership in parts of their businesses which are still making money. And despite their constant donating, nowadays they have risen back to the number 1 and number 2 spots. It truly is an interesting thing. Did you like this video? I sure did. I was just wanting to share with you a quick fact. All of these billionaires all did very successful things, certain habits that successful people do that ordinary people don't. For example, when Michael Bloomberg was broke and really was trying to get by, he was very innovative, intelligent, and smart with his strategy. He would go to Starbucks, he would buy a tea, a coffee, a decaf coffee, and a regular coffee. And then he would go up to people in that Starbucks that was positioned right next to of a very, very swanky and successful firm, and he would talk to people in that Starbucks because he knew they came from that firm. He knew these people were very successful, and he would ask each of them, "Can I talk to you for 10 minutes and pick your brain if I bought you a coffee?" Now, why did he buy so many different variations of coffee and tea? So that if they said, "No, I only drink decaf," or "No, I only drink tea," he had that available so that they couldn't use that as an excuse. Because of this, he was able to get tons of great advice and really get his foot in the door with successful people and get his start. Perhaps you can apply the same thing. Thanks for watching this video.